Just 2 days to go, less than that actually, for the actual results of the big elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh, as well as Delhi, which we should know earlier as soon as tomorrow. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our continued coverage focuses, of course, on the political implications and the national consequences of what the exit polls are forecasting. The Prime Minister leading the BJP to a sweep, perhaps the BJP's best ever performance in his home state of Gujarat. But could the Aam Aadmi Party there emerge with a handsome vote share, at least as the principal challenger, denting the Congress's share of the votes in Gujarat? The Aam Aadmi Party has reason to be happy with the forecasts that predict a clear sweep in the local municipal corporation elections in the national capital. But the implications of these results will be many, especially for the Congress party. In Himachal Pradesh, where the Congress was hoping for a win and one poll at least gives them the narrow edge, the poll of polls suggests that that too could buck the historic trend of revolving doors and give the state possibly in a close contest to the BJP. So a lot to unpack here, including what are the pointers for 2024, the dominance of brand Modi, the emergence possibly of the Aam Aadmi Party as the principal challenger in 2024, or is that a premature question to ask? And what and where that leaves Rahul Gandhi, the Congress party, and his Bharat Jodo Yatra. Let's introduce the guest today as we continue to decode the numbers and the writings on the wall. Joining us is Kartikeya Batra, who's, of course, a political researcher and an analyst. Good to see you, Kartikeya. From the Aam Aadmi Party, we are joined on the program by Priyanka Kakkar, the party spokesperson. From Gujarat today, we are joined by political analyst and commentator Jigar Doshi. Good to see you, Jigar. From the Congress, Advocate Mahima Singh is with us. Welcome to the program, Mahima. Joining us from the BJP, we hope to have her with us. Yesterday, she made a few valiant efforts making up for it today. We're very pleased to have Charu Pragya, BJP leader and spokesperson. And also joining us is veteran journalist and editor Madhavan Narayan. Good to see all of you. For anyone living under a rock, let's cast an early glance on the macro picture that is emerging from all three states that we're looking at. There's Gujarat. We now know that according to the poll of polls, this is an average of all of the exit polls, a forecast of 132 for the BJP and 46% of the vote share, 38 for the Congress and 8 for the AAP, but 20% of vote share for the Aam Aadmi Party in the poll of polls. If we further, of course, break this down and just give you a sense of how this stacks up in terms of seats in comparison to 2017, you will see there that the biggest drop, of course, is for the Congress Party. We will also have a vote share comparison slide coming up in a moment, but let's turn our attention to the next slide. That's Himachal Pradesh, and in Himachal Pradesh you have this is very interesting. If you average out the polls, then the BJP is forecast to take the state again. But if you look at just the Axis India Today poll, then that's giving the Congress a narrow edge. So that's how it looks in Himachal Pradesh. If you compare it to 2017, if we can have that, there it is on your screen. You can see actually a gain for the Congress, but will that gain be enough to keep to Himachal's pattern of revolving doors? We'll have to wait and see. And finally, Delhi, the polls are unanimous. This is going to be a clear sweep in the municipal corporation for the Aam Aadmi Party. This is, remember, a local election, but one where the BJP brought out its big guns, 6 chief ministers, no less, several union ministers. But the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be ending the BJP's 15-year domination over that local corporation. On this special broadcast, I want to look at the big messages, the big political messages for national politics, as well as how the opposition politics may stack up. Let me start by going to Charu Pragya of the BJP. Charu, if you had to do the big takeaways, the big political messages, what would you say they are?
The first one is that BJP continues to receive the love of people across the country. Modi ji, as always, our star campaigner, wins hearts. And there is no such thing as anti-incumbency anymore. In 27 years in Gujarat, and the way this election is going has proved that we only have to wait for 1.5 days more But this is a pro-incumbency wave, and isn't it wonderful that after 27 years of work on ground, the people of Gujarat are still waiting for Modi ji? For Himachal, as you said, there has been this revolving door, but that is a trend that BJP has changed recently. So whether it was Manipur, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, there is no more a system of the government changing every 5 years, and that shouldn't happen if the people of that state are happy with the government. Gujarat has been happy. Himachal is going to be happy, even though it looks like a neck to neck right now. I think when the results come on the 8th, we are going to be very pleased with how the seat tally looks for Bharatiya Janata Party. And you said that MCD elections is a small one. So, Barkha, I don't think any election is big or small. We are a political party. It is our job to give it our best at every single campaign, at every level, at every city, at every state. And that is exactly what BJP has been continuing to do. We have our junior karyakartas rubbing shoulders with the senior most ones and working together round the clock to ensure a victory for our party. Of course, the will of the people is paramount. I want to mention Congress here because they're very proud of the fact that Mr. Gandhi has chosen not to go to both the poll-bound states, and they justify it. I don't think there is a logical, reasonable justification for the tallest leader, if he's still the tallest, even though he's not the president, to completely skip both the important poll-bound states and actually talk politics everywhere else in the country.
Taru, a lot to ask the Congress and, of course, the others as well. But I have one question for you. If we just bring up the slide again, where we can actually see a comparison of the vote shares, what is intriguing is that the BJP is set to maybe deliver its best ever performance in terms of seats, but there's a marginal drop in the vote share. This is an average. In 1.5 days we'll have the actual results. Health warning.
Yeah.
These are exit polls, and we're further averaging a bunch of polls here to reach this particular number. Are you surprised by that slight dip in the vote share? And my second question is, you commented on the Congress, but you did not comment on the Aam Aadmi Party. If the Aam Aadmi Party actually takes 20% of the vote share, will the BJP be forced to take it more seriously, openly, than it has so far? Charu.
So I think that it's going to be a historical win in Gujarat, both in terms of seats and vote share. And we only have to wait 2 more days for that. And Aam Aadmi Party does not exist in Gujarat. I was on ground in Gujarat, and whatever they say, I did not run into them. I did not hear any conversation about them. So I don't think that's a contender. In Himachal, we know their entire team quit, basically upped and quit. And as for Delhi, the way Aam Aadmi Party has been conducting themselves in Delhi state, running the state of Delhi, it's been dismal, to say the least. It's also been very disheartening to see the Chief Minister of Delhi lie blatantly. And that lie was caught on camera. He calls a rapist a physiotherapist, and he thinks that the people of India don't understand all this. So at a point like this, and especially if we are talking about the vote share and the swing on that, actually, it's such a minuscule margin, especially for smaller states or for a smaller election like an MCD election where the number of voters are small, that even a very tiny shift in a percentage will mean a big swing in results.
Okay, you've spoken about the Delhi Chief Minister, and he's actually given his first responses to the exit polls, Charu, and he's actually called it a big deal. He said it's a big deal if a party in the Prime Minister's stronghold and the BJP stronghold does indeed debut with 20% of the vote share. Before I open this up, let's listen in to his claim on the exit poll numbers.
सर, कल एग्जिट पोल के नतीजा है, भारी बहुमत एमसीडी में आम आदमी पार्टी को मिलती हुई नज़र आ रही है, क्या कहेंगे?
तो मैं दिल्ली के लोगों को बधाई देता हूं। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं, कल मैं देख रहा था नतीजे, आम आदमी पार्टी के काफ़ी अच्छे नतीजे आए और जनता ने फिर से भरोसा जताया है, आम आदमी पार्टी पे भरोसा किया है। तो मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि ऐसे ही नतीजे आएंगे और कल इंतज़ार करते हैं।
सर, गुजरात
में पॉजिटिव हैं, नई पार्टी है, नई पार्टी ने एंट्री की है और कह रहे थे कि बीजेपी जो है गढ़ है इन लोगों का। तो इतनी कोई 15% 20% वोट शेयर पहली बार अगर कोई पार्टी जाए तो बड़ी बात है।
सर, ये भी सवाल है कि अगर किसी की सरकार नहीं बनती है तो क्या कांग्रेस
इंतजार कीजिए परसों तक।
Okay, so Arvind Kejriwal is calling this a big deal. I want to go to Priyanka, but Priyanka, Arvind Kejriwal may not be happy if the seats actually end up being under 10, which would be then a failure to convert vote share into seats. Priyanka, there's Delhi. Good news for your party. Would you be disappointed in Gujarat?
Good evening to everyone, Barkha ji. Now, Barkha ji, I'll first go to what Charuji said. It'll answer in sequence. She said she did not see any of her voters on ground any of her supporters on ground in Gujarat. Probably she was not invited to the meeting where Amit Shah ji told all the volunteers that somehow contain Aam Aadmi Party under 24%. Otherwise, we are in trouble. Then again, the trends that I'm seeing in the MCD, in the Gujarat election, in the Himachal election, it's a clear indication that wherever a viable option is available, people are rejecting the BJP. Unfortunately, Congress has failed to nibhao its role as an opposition, and therefore BJP continues some places where the Congress still has a stronghold. But wherever there's a viable option, people are rejecting BJP because the BJP model, like we are going into Gujarat, and all the polls are predicting out 20% at least, which means ki gad mein hum bade hain, which means ki Gujarat model there's certainly some gadbad. So therefore I think that and that is very clear to everyone. It's clear to
But would you be
anyone
disappointed? Would you be disappointed with seats under 10 if the exit polls are correct?
Barkha ji, to that I will say, we have always underperformed in the exit polls. I do not know of any exit poll which gave us the mandate which we scored in Punjab or which we scored in Delhi thrice. So we generally show up in the results, and I'm very hopeful that because Amit Shah ji's Ankalan was keep them under 24%. Exit polls are giving us 20%. Above 24%, it's danger mark for BJP. So there's still 2 more days to go. I'm still very hopeful because it was very clear that the Gujarat model turned out to be very hollow. The PM sir had to sit in a dummy school after 27 years. The
The BJP ma'am could be heading for its best ever performance yet. So the voters may not buy what you're saying.
I doubt it, Barkhaji, also because of the vote share and the seat share. Because if then I go back to their best performance in 2002, their vote share was higher than what is predicted this time in these polls. I'm saying that let's just wait for 2 more days. Things will be clearer. And what I was saying was, let me please complete my thought. I was saying that it was pretty evident in Gujarat and elsewhere in the country that the hollow Gujarat model has been exposed completely this time, especially when the PMs are sat in a dummy school after 27 years. Gujarat, and you see, even in MCD, I'll come to the MCD also. Gujarat was suffering from inflation. It is twice the amount of inflation than it is in Delhi. Then it was suffering from high electricity bills. It is the most expensive electricity in the country. Then there's the issue of
the election is over. The people have spoken. So I think
that is true. That is why I'm saying.
Now leave for.
That is why I'm saying that this will probably show in the. That is why I'm saying this will probably show in the results, because people were really thrust with these muddas in Gujarat on the ground. In MCD, after 15 years of rule, when we have a report card to show, people have outrightly rejected BJP, and
we'll find this out. We'll find this out in a little over 36 hours. I want to just bring in Charu briefly before I go to Mahima and then to our commentators. Charu, you even in your comments spoke about the Congress, not about the Aam Aadmi Party, and then you said it is nowhere visible on the ground in Gujarat. What if the Aam Aadmi Party does indeed pick up this 20% vote share? Would you still be able to say that? Would you still be able to say that, Charu?
So I always maintain that the people of India know best, and they will finally choose, and we will know soon enough. But at the same time, I think what the exit polls are showing for BJP is a very, very conservative number. So when you're talking about this tally of seats, I think even that is conservative. And what is being reflected for Aam Aadmi Party, your survey on the screen showed me around 8 seats. I don't think so. So forget about 20% of the vote share. I think it is going to be much, much lower. And that is visible from the way Gujarat has voted, from the way the campaign has run, from the outpouring of love, basically, which I see for Bharatiya Janata Party and for Modi ji. I think the opposition wants to put down the fact that our leader is so beloved, and they think it's a negative thing. I'm sorry, we are very, very proud of the fact that he manages to turn around things by meeting people, by talking to people, by still being in touch with his karyakartas. The zeal he fills in the people of BJP as well. So when he conducts a meeting and he meets the karyakartas, it's a different kind of an energy that you're infused with. All of that comes together to show us results.
Okay, now in the meantime, where is the Congress? And I'm going to put this to Mahima in just a moment. But Rahul Gandhi carries on with his yatra. It's entered Rajasthan today, blowing kisses to the crowd. Take a look, and then we will look at what might these polls spell for the Congress party. Flying kisses symbolically even at a BJP hoarding at a BJP office as he walked past. Mahima, what should we call that? Denial, optimism, never say die. You know, Radhika Ramasheshan, a senior journalist on the program last night, Mahima, was said that Rahul Gandhi can't afford to be an evangelist while his party is literally collapsing all around him. And if the Congress fails to win Himachal, and I'll bring up those numbers in just a moment, it will be even graver. But Mr. Gandhi seems to be carrying on, some would say, in a parallel universe. Mahima, your thoughts? Can we unmute Mahima, please? Mahima, you're muted at your own end. You need to unmute yourself, please. Mahima, you've muted yourself.
Yeah, I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say, Barkha,
Yeah.
that one will only be able to reflect in the mirror what one embodies. You know, one will only be able to dole out love if that's what they embody, and one will only be able to hurl hatred if that is if that is what one carries in their heart. And so the BJP is all about hatred, and we are all about love. We are about connecting people, and that's exactly what we are doing. I don't know which planet are those living who are saying that Congress is actually collapsing, because you got to see the crowds that the yatra is able to pull out
But I'm
from
talking about
Just
electoral
a moment.
results, election
No,
results.
I'm coming to what you've asked me, and so it's not apart. You know, the electoral aspect of the democracy, and actually the actual aspect, which is the people of the country, irrespective of the victory or defeat that we receive. I think they have to go hand in hand, and one cannot ignore the other. While the BJP is busy ignoring the administrative part of it, as we see the prime minister and a host of ministers busy with electioneering, because that's their culture. They're a party of electioneering culture. So that's what they're doing. While we are sitting in the opposition, it is our job to meet the people. It is our job to bring in feedback from the people, and take it to the government. When all the institutions have collapsed, actually not the Congress, but the institutions in this country have collapsed and are not being allowed to function. When an election commission receives a complaint in Ranip about the prime minister carrying out a road show on the very day that the polling is happening, walking 100 meters by waving hands at people. You cannot normalize it in a democracy where there's a model code of conduct in place before elections. But that's what has happened in Gujarat. And so for us, you know, it is right now at the moment where the BJP has taken this country, making it a farce of a democracy. What matters to us is
But
to breathe
but
life in these institutions,
but
is
are
to
you saying
remind
are you saying
people
are you saying
that
elections don't matter? Are you saying elections don't matter? Elections
they
are a
absolutely
cornerstone
do.
of
They
democracies, right?
absolutely do, and they have to be fought on regional issues. They have to be fought on people's issues. They have to be fought by the candidates that the party has chosen to stand up
Okay.
to the people.
Okay, the politicians have
It's not
spoken.
required for the prime minister to be out of his office around the year, because there is one election or the other
I will
happening
I
around.
will put that to Charu later, but I want to bring in our journalists and our commentators today. जिगर जी आपसे शुरू करती हूँ. गुजरात में दो चीजें उभर के आ रही हैं. One is a sweep by the Prime Minister, possibly the BJP's best ever performance. The other is the emergence of the Aam Aadmi Party, perhaps as the principal challenger. अगर ये vote share का सिर्फ 6% point gap रहता है between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, अगर इस तरह के नतीजे आते हैं, जिगर जी, योर थॉट्स गुजरात में जो हो रहा है.
जी, बिल्कुल। देखिए, जो पूरा कैंपेन हुआ आम आदमी पार्टी की तरफ से पिछले 6 महीने में, उसने बहुत सारी उत्सुकता जगाई थी लोगों के मन में। पर ट्रेडिशनली फाइट हमेशा जैसे कांग्रेस बीजेपी के सामने ही आमने-सामने रहती है, वही आखिर में हुआ और मेरे ख्याल से ये जितने सारे जो एग्ज़िट पोल है, मुझे फिर भी उसमें थोड़ा-सा मैं असहमत हूँ इस बारे में, क्योंकि एग्ज़िट पोल्स तकरीबन 125-130 के ऊपर ही बीजेपी की सीट दिखा रहा है और शायद जो टैली है, वो जहाँ पर हम धरातल पे लोगों को मिलते हैं और जो आइडियाज मिलते हैं उस हिसाब से मेरे ख्याल से 105, 110, 112 तक शायद ये हो सकता है। पर कांग्रेस की जो सीट है सबसे बड़ा इसमें जो दिख रहा है कि कांग्रेस के वोट शेयर बिल्कुल आधे हो जाएँगे, सीट्स आधी हो जाएँगी। मेरे ख्याल से मुझे नहीं लगता कि कांग्रेस इतना भी खराब प्रदर्शन करेगी, क्योंकि बहुत सारे जो गाँव है, कस्बे हैं, वहाँ आज की तारीख में भी कांग्रेस का बहुत जबरदस्त मजबूत पूरा संगठन और वो सब काम कर रहा है। आम आदमी
तो
पार्टी ने आकर एकदम बज़ क्रिएट ज़रूर किया, पर मेरे ख्याल से ये इस जिस तरीके से जो आंकड़े हैं, वो मुझे बिल्कुल कांग्रेस के बिल्कुल जो वोट शेयर खत्म हो जा रहा है या कांग्रेस खत्म होगी, ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है।
तो
जी।
आप कह रहे हैं कि आप पोल्स जो दिखा रहे हैं, द एक्सटेंट ऑफ द कांग्रेस इज ड्रॉप एंड द स्केल ऑफ द आप इंक्रीज, आप उससे सहमत नहीं है?
जी, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल।
आपके मुताबिक क्या होगा?
मेरे ख्याल से कांग्रेस अभी जैसे बीजेपी के लिए मैंने आंकड़ा जो बताया तकरीबन हो सकता है, कांग्रेस भी मेरे ख्याल से अच्छा ही करेगी और तकरीबन लास्ट इलेक्शन में उनका 41% जो वोट शेयर था, अगर आम आदमी पार्टी उसमें से कुछ वोट शेयर खत्म करती है, कम करती है, तो भी मेरे ख्याल से वो 34-35% के आसपास तो डेफिनिटली रहेगी और वो 50 या उसके आसपास की सीट्स ले जाने में कामयाब रहेगी। क्योंकि एक तर्क ऐसा भी दिया जाता है हर एक बातचीत में या डिबेट्स में कि आम आदमी पार्टी आने से सिर्फ वो कांग्रेस का ही वोट शेयर खाएगी। तो मेरे ख्याल से मुझे नहीं लगता ये दोधारी तलवार जैसा है, डबल टू साइडेड स्वॉर्ड काइंड ऑफ। अगर वोटिंग हुआ है तो कांग्रेस का भी वो वोट खाएगी, बीजेपी का भी खाएगी। बीजेपी के पास डेफिनेटली एक बात जरूर है, मोदी जी का ब्रांड है और अभी इतने 27 सालों से जो चल रहा है, उस तरीके से अगर हम देखें टोटली अगर 20 साल मोदी जी के गिने 2002 से 2022 के, तो मेरे ख्याल
जी।
से उनके जैसा जैसा कोई बड़ा नेता गुजरात में या हिंदुस्तान में अभी हुआ नहीं है। तो एक विकल्प का अभाव जरूर है और लोग मोदी मोदी जी को पसंद भी करते हैं। ये दोनों फैक्टर मिला के ही विपक्ष यहाँ पे इतना पनप नहीं पाता गुजरात में, ये बिल्कुल फैक्ट बात है, उसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। पर मेरे ख्याल से आज
जी।
की तारीख में बीजेपी को भी एक चैलेंज बहुत बड़ा फेस करना पड़ा इस इलेक्शन में। मेरे ख्याल से मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी या फिर उनकी रणनीतिक टीम को ये भी आइडिया आ गया होगा कि 20 साल के अंदर अंदर बीजेपी के नीचे की जो यहाँ की जो पूरी टीम है, वहां पर ऐसा कोई क्राउड पुलर नेता शायद डेवलप करना बाकी रहेगा। तो मेरे ख्याल से इस
जी।
वजह से मोदी जी को इतना जबरदस्त हार्ड वर्क करना पड़ा है, वो साफ साफ दिख रहा है। तो ये
मोदी
भी बहुत सारी
मोदी
बड़ी बात है।
ने ये आपने बहुत जरूरी बात कही that Modi remains the message. The Prime Minister is the vehicle of victory for the BJP. We've seen this in other states. Gujarat, of course, is his home state. The BJP seems poised for a seventh historic record-breaking victory in Gujarat. But even in states like Uttarakhand, Madhavan, you've had a situation where the chief ministerial candidate of the BJP has lost, but the BJP has won the state based on the Modi factor. And Jigar ji yahi keh rahe hain ki the Modi phenomenon, these exit polls underscore the Modi phenomenon, right? And I think that is one big takeaway. And the only other question left to answer is who is the party or the individual emerging to take him on, if at all, in 2024? Madhavan.
Yeah, but Barkha, let me first, think out of the box a bit on these things. I always do because there are enough people doing caste and typical vote swing things. Essentially, three things. Big takeaway is if there's a 3% decrease in vote share for the Gujarat, BJP, but a 30% increase in seats, it essentially means that other factors are at work. In which case, in the first past the post parliamentary system, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress votes are creating confusion or divides that results in a victory for the BJP. But having said that, let me say if you compare it with 2017, I think if there is an overall decline in vote share, it basically means Mr. Modi had to work extra hard, and it is not Modi's charisma, but it's Modi's hard work that seems to have paid off. I also wish to point out the fact that the manifesto of the BJP this time in Gujarat and the promises and the caste, let's say, manipulation or equations that they worked out are so diligent that you have to understand that they are putting the brand Modi on what is essentially good old Indian politics. And BJP is officially against freebies, but in Gujarat, they have actually reigned what are freebies. So it's very important, although the electricity rates may be high and all that. So it's
Why do
very
you
important.
make this distinction between the Prime Minister's charisma and the Prime Minister's hard work? Can you explain that argument?
Yeah, because charisma is like a brand, and the hard work is like, and the manifesto promises and the caste equations are like the product. So you put together the, to use a computer analogy, you can put together the motherboard and the memory and random access memory, and then call it an HP computer or a Dell computer. So that's what. See, this is no longer. I think I want to take you back a bit and look at the 2018 assembly elections in which Madhya Pradesh was almost lost by the BJP before it came back later. Rajasthan it lost. I also want to point out that Delhi is certainly not BJP. So
But
where is
Madhavan, those examples that you're giving would actually contradict Mahima's argument that this is a diminishing democracy. The fact that the BJP does lose elections means where there is a smart campaign or a strong face to counter Mr. Modi. Delhi itself is an example. The
exactly
result
now?
can be different.
My
Yeah, quickly,
takeaway
I
in
want to
this.
go to Karthikeya. Yeah,
No,
quickly.
I want
Yeah,
to take a big picture view of all of India. My
yeah.
contention is, mark my words very carefully. India is not going through a Modi wave as much as a leadership wave. So if you look at Naveen Patnaik and Jagan Reddy and KCR, Indians now want clearly identifiable faces associated with issues and promises and deliverability. And whoever fits this best seems to be working, whether it is Andhra Pradesh or Delhi. So
Okay.
in the belt, the fact is that Modi is the biggest face north of
I
the
think that's
Vindhya.
a great. I think that's a great point. That wherever the BJP does face a tough contest, whether it's Bengal, whether it is Tamil Nadu, whether it is Telangana, whether it is Delhi, it has been because people see an alternative, not just in a party or an ideology, but in a face, in a name, in a personality. Karthikeya, let's bring you in before I go back to our three politicians. What's the big takeaway from the numbers for you, Karthikeya?
No, I think Barkha, the conversation. If with your permission, I would just like to add to what the last point was. About faces. I think that is a result of a complete failure of our democratic institutions at different levels. The failure of local MLAs connecting with people, which is why you feel the need or an urge to have this one big figure who is like a Rajnikant of your politics, who will solve all your problems. The judiciary has not been delivering, the local administration has not been delivering. So it's a dangerous trend, but yes, it is a trend nonetheless. And in fact, if you look at state after state, the way the BJP constructs its campaigns, especially when it's fighting anti-incumbency, they try to nationalize the election, right? So Gujarat was no longer an issue, an election about Gujarati issues. It became an election of about nationalistic issues. At some point, it became an election about Hindutva issues, right? So the BJP tries to broaden the horizon, but as you rightly said, wherever you find a smart local leader who can pull it down and localize it, the BJP faces a stiff challenge. And we've seen it coming from different regional leaders and some leaders of the Congress as well. Chhattisgarh, for example, you will see next year the BJP will have a tough time resting it because there is a Congress chief minister who is localizing those issues and is working on the ground. Now, about the takeaways from this exit poll, I think the Aam Aadmi Party should be really happy with its performance in both Delhi and in Gujarat if these polls hold. I think for the BJP to sort of win Gujarat again was a given, but I think the margin by which it's going to win will give it additional happiness. But they are again being beaten by the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi for the third time straight. I think that should be something that need to worry about, that what is happening in Delhi, that they can't produce a regional crop of leaders who can take on Mr. Kejriwal. Problems galore for the Congress, not just in Gujarat, but even in Delhi, Barkha. The reason why the Aam Aadmi Party is going to sweep Delhi is because the Congress's vote share is going to decline by 10 percentage points from 2017. The reason why
And in fact, you can see that on your screen from 21 to
in
17.
2017, Barkha, Aam Aadmi Party was denied MCD not by the BJP so much, but denied the MCD by the Congress because the Congress performed better than its performance in the assembly election. So it got 20% vote, 26% went to the Aam Aadmi Party, and the BJP swept with 37%. But now you'll see the BJP's vote share is predicted to be roughly in the same ballpark, but you see the decline in the Congress's vote share going completely to the Aam Aadmi Party, which is going to give it a sweep of 150 over seats if these polls are to be believed. In addition, the Congress seems to be, one last point, I think Himachal is the only place where the Congress might find some ray of hope, but in a small state, a tough state, we don't know where things might go.
Okay, I want to bring in the politicians now. Thank you, Madhavan and Karthikeya and Jigarji. Stay with us. Lots to discuss. I want to look forward. Impact on national politics. Charu, to you first. The idea of the Prime Minister as a kind of Rajnikant, as it were, of the BJP, that you need the big star to bring in the people to the movie. Chota actor डालते हो तो कोई picture देखने नहीं आता. That in fact गुस्सा भी होता है लोगों में with their MLA, sometimes even with their chief minister, but Modi pushes every election through. Is that healthy? It's a great asset, it's a great victory card, it's your ace in the pack, but what does it say about the BJP's absence of, let's say, local faces? ये कांग्रेस के बारे में criticism होता था that Indira Gandhi never had other sort of strong regional leaders around her. Is that a criticism that the BJP would accept today? The over dependence on the
So
prime minister?
I first want to talk about this brand versus hard work. I think
Yeah.
you cannot create a hollow brand. There has to be hard work behind a person. There has to be hard work and results behind the person that Modi ji is today. And that is exactly why he is where he is. Because if he wasn't, I'm sorry, you cannot trivialize the fact that we've been in government for 27 strong years. 27 is not a small number. 27 is like, I don't know how many elections is that. Generations have changed, and 5 years more. That's a given. So please do not trivialize the fact that somebody's charisma is also backed by hard work, and there is nothing to be ashamed of in hard work. So when the panelist says that, oh, he's winning elections not because of his charisma, but because of his hard work, I'm sorry, both ways, I think it is a compliment to Prime Minister Modi. And hard work is extremely important. If you're a politician in India and you're not willing to work hard, then something's wrong with you, and you need to do some introspection. As for Modi ji driving an election, I think it's more than that. See, it's every single election, whether it is at the local level or it is at the national level, there has to be a larger vision to things. And Modi ji has brought that vision to our country, and that vision will hold whether you're talking about a city, a state, or the country as a whole. I beg to differ with that.
Okay, Madhavan, brief response there before I actually go to both Priyanka and Mahima. The Prime Minister is able to, I would say, quite admirably show 24/7 levels of energy, and that was the one criticism, in fact, that before the Bharat Jodo Yatra, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi would face all the time, that you're being part-time politicians in the age of a 24/7 Modi Shah-led BJP juggernaut. Hard work is part of the Modi brand. In fact, when I travel and I meet
But
people, people will say all the time, देखिए कितना काम करते हैं सुबह से शाम, और उसके बाद, and he was back briefing the all-party meeting on the G20, for
yeah,
example. Yeah, there you can see those very fascinating images. If pictures could speak, that image I would have given an arm and a leg to be a wallflower on some of those meetings. Go ahead, Madhavan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very simple. I'm not disagreeing with Charu, and nor is she disagreeing with me. I'm merely saying charisma as a simple overarching factor is not the real issue. The charisma is being overrated. But I agree with her. Hard work pays, and but it pays for Kejriwal also. It has paid for KCR and Jagan and Stalin also. So let us be very clear that it's not Modi alone who matters. It is the hard work and the brand built around that. But the key point to note is welfareism, which is essentially a Congress ideological element historically, is now being part of the BJP's toolkit, if I may use that much abused word. Manifesto promises in Gujarat are something that we are not sufficiently discussing in the media. The fact is that there is a Kejriwalization of national politics right now, thanks to the agenda issues being coming in. You may crib about electricity in Delhi, but whether you like it or not, now it's part of the national agenda.
Can I just jump in quickly and get Mahima and Priyanka, and then I want to get actually last words from all of you. Mahima, very quickly to the point being made about a brand, a face being needed, and this point being made again and again that Mr. Gandhi may not be that face for the Congress party. Your thoughts, impact on national politics, who is best poised to take on brand Modi?
I think it is only for the time to tell that who will be that face for the Congress party, or even going forward, for the country. But I have to say that we've been talking about the charisma here, and I resonate with Mr. Narayanan to the extent that you see that he had to get down on his feet in Gujarat after Morbi happened. After there is the plight of Una victims, there is the remission of Bilkis Bano, there is a lot of other things, and the exit polls today that we are seeing only remind me of the Gujarat State Petroleum Corporation scam, wherein Narendra Modi told the center and took a loan in name of petroleum, natural gas being found. In 2005, he said he's found gas worth 50 million. In 2008, he said actually it's worth 100 millions. And at the end of the day, what we see is a scam. And then ONGC had to take over this asset asset at which was at loss. So that is what BJP is about. That's what brand Modi is about. And if they are what you rightly asked the BJP spokesperson, and she has left without giving us a satisfactory answer to that basically there's this big void that the BJP is creating. And I will reiterate what I said earlier, that they are creating a...
Can I ask you something before I go to Priyanka? You said a lot about the BJP. How do you see the Aam Aadmi Party, Mahim? Because some would say that this was the time, if the opposition were really serious about defeating or taking on the Prime Minister, for the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress to join hands. Mahima, quickly, I want to go to Priyanka with that question.
Well, it is only a healthy trend in a democracy if various ideologies are fructifying, if they are able to grow. And I think that's what's happening. If there are people, if there's a space for the Aam Aadmi Party to bloom, then let it be so, and let us see what does it have to bring for the democracy and the future of it. However, any party that is harming the institutions and is harming the people's interests by harming the institutions must be stopped.
Okay.
And I think that's where we are.
Priyanka, here's my question. This is an election that, the MCD is great for the Aam Aadmi Party, but it's only about Delhi. Gujarat is what was going to be or is going to be the barometer of your, the practical dimension to your national ambition. Do you believe that your leader, Arvind Kejriwal, is now best poised to take on the BJP in 24? Will you make that assertion right now, or is it too early to make that assertion?
No, Barkhaji, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on the assertion. But one thing, you can't trivialize the MCD election because BJP is losing. The BJP, you yourself mentioned 7 CMs and 17 cabinet ministers and whatnot MPs. They were fighting on brand Modi even in MCD, and they were sure that they will win after 15 years of an anti-incumbency won't play a role here. They fought it like the national elections on national issues. The Assam CM came here and he was playing the national card. So we can't, just because they're losing now, we cannot trivialize these MCD elections also. One, they will also be looked at the same footing as the Gujarat elections, because they also put all their might in this election. Cannot be denied.
Okay.
Gujarat,
yeah. Complete your point.
Okay.
Complete your point.
Okay.
Complete your point.
In Gujarat also, even if these exit polls are showing us 20%, which you are also showing, I am absolutely of the view, because Amit Shah, I'm repeating my point, but because Amit Shah ji said in this internal meeting that somehow contain Aam Aadmi Party and the 24%, I am hopeful and I will wait for 8 to speak. But definitely both of these elections, no matter what the result, definitely it puts us as the
challenger,
the challenger in chief, definitely someone who's taking up people's issues, because BJP is definitely not interested.
Karthike, is the Aam Aadmi Party now the Kamal Hassan to the Prime Minister's Rajnikant?
That's interesting. Barkha, I think we need to be realistic while also looking at what's happening. So I think trends suggest that at this point, at least in the Hindi hinterland, the one party that understands the BJP's communication playbook and their strategy of politicking is the Aam Aadmi Party. Without doubt, I will say that. Stick my neck out. Having said that, when we are realistic, we will understand that there's a long distance to go. The problem with the Aam Aadmi Party is we forget it's just 10 years old and it's created all these ripples. And so we tend to over-exaggerate it in our own heads. But giving them due credit, I think after this election, they'll become a national party also. But I think giving them due credit, for them, the next big challenge will be the organizational challenge. They need to understand that complexities of states will be different. And for them to able to spread their wings across the Hindi heartland, they need to come up with specific points on ideology, A. What do they think about issues of caste? What do they think about, issues on, for example, foreign policy, for example, energy policy, if they want to really go national that way. At the same time, they also need to bring up a second rung of leaders, which it seems they are doing state after state wherever they go. But the next point will be to retain these leaders. Say what happened in Uttarakhand, where the entire Aam Aadmi Party unit, including their CM candidate, has now shifted to the BJP. They need to ensure that after a good first performance in a state, they retain that cadre, that leadership.
I have to close. जिगर जी, अगर मैं
Yeah.
आपसे अंत में पूछूं कि आपका अपना जो एक असेसमेंट है, आपने कहा आप पोल्स आपको थोड़े एग्जैजरेटेड लगते हैं, लेकिन आपको क्या ये लगता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी मेन चैलेंजर बनेगी गुजरात में? आपको नहीं लगता? चैलेंजर की बात कर रही हूँ, जीत की बात नहीं कर रही।
जी, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल। देखिए, उनका जो सबसे बड़ा गोल है वो 6% से ऊपर का वोट शेयर पाने का है। वो मेरे ख्याल से वो अचीव कर लेंगे नेशनल पार्टी बनने के लिए। पर चैलेंजर की जहां तक बात है, मेरे ख्याल से मुझे अभी एज ऑफ नाउ नहीं लग रहा, 2024 तक भी नहीं लग रहा। 4-5 साल उन्हें लग जाएंगे यहाँ की कैडर को डेवलप करने में, संगठन को डेवलप करने में। उसके बाद भी शायद कुछ कहा जा सकता है।
जी, मुझे कांशीराम जी की बात याद आती है कि पहला चुनाव जो है वो
हारने के लिए,
हारने के लिए, जीतने के लिए और हराने के लिए,
फिर उसके बाद तीसरा जिताने के लिए होता है।
बिल्कुल, मैं वही कह रही हूँ।
लेकिन बरखा, आपके इंटरव्यू में अरविंद केजरीवाल सेड कभी-कभी तो हम पहली बार में भी जीत जाते हैं।
Well, of course, Delhi is of course a kind of sweetheart city state for the Aam Aadmi Party. But yes, the actual numbers are still a day and a half away. Do join the Mojo Story special programming 8 a.m. onwards on the 8th morning. Thank you so much to our guests, to Mahima, to Priyanka, to Charu earlier, to Kartike, to Jigarji, and to Madhavan. We hope to see many of you on the morning of the 8th and through the day as well. To our audience, thank you for watching. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the MCD election, the municipal corporation election of the national capital that suddenly has higher stakes than ever before. Do join us then. Thanks for watching. Take care. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.